Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. All right, let's see what there is to talk about today. Before we do that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Don't forget as well to like and share the videos. Thank you so much to you all. You know what we'll start with? Let's start with the Aj-Usyk Undercard because I've seen a reaction to it and a lot of you aren't happy. So let's have a quick, let's get the undercard up again. Let's quickly go through it and then we can make our judgment, a fair judgment. 2 secs. All right, so what we got? We got Lawrence Okoli versus Dylan Prasovic, Callum Smith versus Lenin Castillo, Maxime Prodon versus Florin Marcoux, Christopher Woodley versus, I can't pronounce that name, and Campbell Hatton in his fourth professional fight against Izandura. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very brutally honest with you because that's what you expect and want when you come to this channel. I don't care about the undercard. I have to be honest with you. There's some fights where, do I want it to be a good undercard? Yeah, I wouldn't mind a good undercard. This is one of those fights where AJ and Usyk could just turn up and fight. That's my honest take on it. I've seen a lot of you react to it as though you guys are tuning in for the undercard when you're not. You're not. Let's be real, people. You're not tuning in for the undercard. You're tuning in for Aj-Usyk. Like, I don't, especially, look, what is this going to be on pay-per-view over here? $24.95. I don't think a lot of you, when this fight was made, was like, all right, but there better be a good undercard. No. It's Aj-Usyk. Like, that's it. That's it. I mean, would we want to see better matchups on the undercard? Yeah. Wouldn't mind. I'm trying to think of what could be on the undercard. Basically, I don't mind the names, but you want to see them in better fights, right? So you're happy Lawrence Okoli's on the undercard, but you want to see him in against someone, maybe a Makabu, someone, right? A unification fight. Callum Smith, first fight at 175. He's fighting Lenin Castillo, who fought Dimitri Bivol a couple of years ago. First fight at 175, first fight with Buddy McGirt, I get it. Florin Marcoux's on there, we'll see. And then obviously we've got Campbell Hatton. Again, look, I'm not just saying this because I hope people don't think, you're only saying this because you work for DAZN. I'd hope that isn't what you're thinking. But it's true. There's some fights where I don't necessarily care about the undercard. I don't. Like even Pacquiao Spence, well, it should have been Pacquiao Spence the other day. I swear to God, only a week before the fight, a week before Yordenis Pacquiao, because obviously Spence was out, did I realize Guerrero Ortiz was on it. I didn't care. I just wanted to see Pacquiao versus Spence. Like there's some fights where do I want a stacked undercard? Yeah. But most times I only tune in late for the main event. Or I probably tune in. I'll be very honest with you. Sometimes I don't watch the whole undercard. Do you watch? Are some of you telling me that you actually sit down and watch the whole undercard of these fight cards? If you do, I applaud you because I don't do that most times. I definitely watch the co-main and sometimes the one before that. But the others, I'm kind of in and out of it. I'm flicking in and out of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to a friend. I'm chilling. Oh, I don't really watch it. So all the, this is a shit undercard. This is a disgrace. We are only people tuning in for Aj-Usyk. We're only paying, or if you're going or whatever, you're only paying for Aj-Usyk. When 65,000 tickets were sold out for this fight, it was sold out for Aj-Usyk. No one bought a ticket with the thinking, I'm buying a ticket for Aj-Usyk, better be a bloody good undercard. No, you bought it for Aj-Usyk. The undercard was almost irrelevant. And it's true, the undercards are relevant. I'm trying to think of the last major fight card. We know what fight card would have had a really good undercard, and fingers crossed it has the same undercard October 9th. That's Wilder Fury, Fury Wilder. That had a great undercard. But normally, for these big fights, because and let's be honest about why it is sometimes, because the main eventers take all the bunch of money, normally you don't get a thick undercard. You really don't in these big fight cards. You just don't. I mean, and not only that, but there's some undercards I can't even remember. Like, I'm trying to rack my brain very quickly. Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, what was the undercard? What was the undercard for Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders? Can't remember. Let me have a quick look. Basically, that's my point. And I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to stall it because I actually remember. I actually really don't remember. But I'm going to bring it up now just to quickly have a look. Was it a good undercard? Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, Kieran Conway for Sissoko, Elwin Soto versus Takayama. That was actually a good fight. Remember that? That was actually a good fight. Frank Sanchez fought as well. I didn't remember it. I swear, if someone literally put a gun to my head, I would have lost and I would have been dead. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it why you're upset, but again, understand that the event is Aj-Usyk. This is. It really is. But yeah. We'll see how all these fights play out. I do think Callum Smith versus Lennon Castillo is actually a decent scrap as well, by the way. And Campbell Hatton's getting a lot of stick again. I mean, bloody hell, man. Like, oh, we don't want to see Campbell Hatton. We don't want to see Campbell Hatton. I mean, I do think this is the last big fight card he's on. I do think there is this next-gen series being spoken about, and I think he'll go and fight on those and just kind of bring his record up and almost improve behind closed doors. But he is signed to 258 Management. If you did not know that, now you know, which is AJ's management team. So you almost expected him to be on this card. You almost expected him to be on it. I'm a bit shocked. Oh, 1 second. I keep forgetting that my phone. I'm a bit shocked that it's only 6 fights. Is there a reason for that? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't really like big undercards, but I mean, well, I'm doing a Frank Warren fight or Frank Warren fight card this weekend, and I'm pretty sure that's got like, we're not covering all of it, but I'm pretty sure that's got like 10 fights on the card. So yeah, a bit shocked by that. All right, let's move on from it. Let's move on. The WBA have literally said, you know what, we're scrapping all our international belts. Which is, look, I'm kind of in two minds here. For us as fight fans, good. We've been calling for these belts to be reduced, right? There's been that campaign that Fight Disciples have done, bin the belts. And that's all well and good for us. But for the fighters who've at least gone in the ring and fought for these belts, right? They've actually fought for these belts. So they've not gone in the ring and, you know, won a fight and all of a sudden the belt's been posted to them, or they've not been upgraded. They've gone into the ring and fought for an international belt, which means a lot. It means a lot for them because a belt, broadcasters love a belt. It means a bit of extra quid on your check as well. So it's a bit harsh for them. What I have heard is that they will now fight final eliminators and be kind of pushed forward for mandatories. But I mean, the Bin the Belt campaign is a good one, I think, but you've also got to look at how the fighters feel about this as well. And I think it's unfortunate for the fighters because for the fighters, for some fighters, this might be as good as it gets. An international belt might be their Mount Rushmore. It might be the biggest thing they can ever achieve. Not every fighter is going to go on to do world titles. So this might be it. This is as good as it gets for them. And, you know, there is a campaign out there where people are saying, hey, bin that belt, but also it means nothing, that belt, where it does mean a lot for some of these fighters. It does mean a lot. I mean, you can tell it means a lot when, you know, they win the fight and, you know, the belt's put around their waist and you can see their face and it means a lot for them. And they look down at the belt and think, what an achievement. And now that belt has literally been said, give me that shit. Give me that belt back. Just because the WBA have fucked it all up. But that's not the fighter's fault. So yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. All right, let's quickly, Manny Pacquiao has had a few interesting things to say about Yordenis Ugas, which haven't really sat well with me. You know, talking about Ugas, basically, I can't believe I lost to Ugas. He was the easiest fighter I've fought in many, many years. I mean, it's not like Manny. I mean, he does have previous. He has said a couple of things before. Remember after he lost to Floyd and obviously look, the shoulder, which was true, but he's not one for excuses. And I feel like he's made quite a few, which makes me feel that there will be a rematch between the two. It does. I think he's going to think, you know what, give me another go. Give me another go in 5 or 6 months and we'll see. And if you're Ugas, you're like, yes, please. Yes, please, because now all of a sudden there's a little bit of a narrative there. It probably makes Ugas more money than it did this time round. It will still do good numbers on pay-per-view. So, yeah, it looks like that fight will happen. If you're a Terence Crawford or maybe even a Sean Porter, you might be upset by that because ideally those two guys get it on and they fight an Ugas or maybe even fight a Pacquiao. But now it looks like Pacquiao is going to go down the Ugas rematch route. So it looks like we will see Manny Pacquiao in the ring again. I don't like it. I honestly do not like it. Just leave it alone, man. Like, leave it alone. What else have we got here? Obviously, this weekend is Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Daniel Dubois is over there as well. Tommy Fury's over there. Well done to Frank to getting him on those cards. I mean, look, if you're Tommy Fury, and I'm pretty sure he will, once he knocks out his opponent, because I think he will do that as well, you use that mic opportunity to call out Jake, and you call him out. In fact, you sit ringside. If Jake Paul does beat If Jake Paul does beat Tyron Woodley, you jump in that ring. Fuck security, you jump in that ring. In fact, you even jump in the ring and let security try and hold you back. You just do everything you can to initiate a fight between you and Jake Paul next. Everything you can. Even if it is a WWE gimmicky bullshit, you still do it, because you know what? It sells the fight. And Jake Paul will love it, because he is very WWE gimmicky as well. So if I'm Tommy Fury, I've got a few things planned. First thing, though, is make sure you win. After that, you do every single thing you can to goad Jake Paul into a fight, because your next 20 fights are not going to make you the same kind of money that fighting Jake Paul would make. And it's not even going to raise your profile. Tommy Fury's got a big profile, but it's going to raise his profile another level, especially stateside. He's got a big profile over here, Tommy Fury. Nothing over states. Nothing in the States, sorry. So, yeah, you do that. I was thinking about doing a live watch along for it, because I'm actually interested in the fight. I'm sorry, I am. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley intrigues me a little bit. But I'm in Birmingham, so I don't know what to do. That fight card, I think, finishes at 11. I mean, I could drive down. Basically, Birmingham to London is 3 hours. They booked me a hotel, TalkSport, so I could do it in a hotel, but I'm not sure. We'll think about it, because I definitely want to do a live watch along of it. I really do, because I think it's going to be a fun night. I really do think it's going to be a fun, crazy night. What we got here? Jamal Charlo arrested over alleged bar dispute with waitress. He's released on bond following alleged incident in San Antonio. Look, I don't know enough about what's happening, but come on, man. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, some people, trouble just seems to follow them. And whether or not he comes out with, and he's like, he's not guilty, and, you know, everything's fine, and maybe even pays the waitress a bit of money to kind of just this story away. Why is it that some boxers always seem to have some drama following them? Don't have excuses as to why, but they have some drama following them. Some boxers have none. So do you know what I mean? Some people have none. So it's not even, I don't know. Well, I don't know. All right, quick one on the fight card this weekend. Let's have a quick look at it. Obviously, Anthony Yarde returns. I mean, under TalkSport are very, very keen on sort of speaking about that fight, just because Anthony Yarde's a big name, right? He takes on Alex Teran, who's 23 and 5. Look, providing he wins, and he should win, and fingers crossed he looks good. By the way, this is Anthony Yarde's first fight since the Lyndon Arthur defeat, which was a long time ago. He's had a couple of fights fall through just because of him and his opponents. This is a completely different opponent from who he was supposed to fight, I think, April and May. Let's see how he looks. I've said it before, so apologies if I'm repeating myself here, but the light heavyweight division over here is incredible right now. Incredible. And I think we've seen, especially with Frank, he's not afraid to put his light heavies against each other. Like Anthony Yarde, Lyndon Arthur's an example of that. He's okay with that. And providing, obviously, Yarde gets through it, it will be Lyndon Arthur again. And I think this fight will have a bit of heat this time. It really will. And then, obviously, on that side as well, there's Callum Johnson. On that side as well, there's Dan Aziz. On the other side, there's Callum Smith. On the other side, there's fucking Craig Richards, Boatsy. We need to get this on. Like, I feel like Callum Smith, Boatsy are going to go another route. I think avoid's the wrong word, but they're not going to fight the other guys. They're going to try and avoid that shit and go European worlds. Whereas I think the other guys will mix it with each other, which is a shame, because imagine that as a Super 6. Imagine that as a Super 6. Incredible. Akeem Enes Brown versus Sam Maxwell is the main event. Both of these guys are unbeaten. Don't know if you saw the little push and shove at the press conference. Sam Maxwell's unbeaten, but he's lucky to be unbeaten. Do you remember that fight? I think it might have been about a year and a bit ago, where he's losing the fight and the guy just plays about in the last 10 seconds and Sam Maxwell catches him. Like the guy starts showboating. So Sam Maxwell could have had a defeat on the record if the guy didn't showboat. Not taking anything away from Sam Maxwell, he still got the job done and you have to do it. But Akeem Enes Brown's definitely not been in as tough a fights as Sam Maxwell. Like Sam Maxwell's unbeaten, but there are a few miles on the clock. And he had a big amateur career as well. Good fight though, good fight. Akeem Enes Brown hasn't got much punch power. I think he's only got 1 KO in those 14 wins. Yeah, 1 KO in those 14 wins. So, you know, he's coming down. He might go all the distance here. What's Sam Maxwell got in terms of punches? 15 fights, 11 KOs. So is it too obvious to say boxer versus puncher? I don't know, but we'll see how that one plays out. So it should be a decent fight card. What else have we got on there? Let's have a look. Nathan Heaney's on there, but no opponent announced as yet. Leon Woodstock is on this card as well. Okay. How many fights on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bloody hell, Frank never wants these people to get home early, does he? Jesus Christ, man. All right, last couple of minutes. Is there anything else? 2 secs. No, that's it really. There's a couple of bits about Deontay Wilder and all that nonsense. Like it's just the same story. Like Deontay Wilder's training like a man, machine, a crazy man. All right, cool.